Hello, story lovers! Welcome to Nana's Fairy Tales, where we share amazing and interesting stories. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell to get notified when we upload another enchanting tale. A long time ago, in an African community where peace and prosperity reigned, where the people get their hands sandy in order to get their mouths oily, where children wash their hands in order to dine with the elders. This community prospered. The men married as many wives as they could and had as many children as possible, and together they grew their wealth and family name. The men were measured by the size of their barn and the number of their children. Of course, children were a great way to describe a real man. A woman's greatest prayer is to be blessed by the god of fertility, so she could bear tons of children for her husband. Otherwise, she'll be called a man. In this community was a very beautiful maiden named Ugo Nwaanyi. She is so beautiful that no man would ever see her pass without turning back to look at her a second time. Her dark skin glows like the smooth, greasy clay of the potter. Her waist is firm like the perfect rounded pot made by the best potter, and her white eyeballs radiate even in darkness. Her full black hair can be styled in any way to further spell out her beauty. Ugo Nwaanyi is everything you can describe as beautiful. Growing up, she follows her mother to the farm and plants vegetables with her. She learns how to cook, which was a norm in the community. Every female child must be a good cook. Young girls and women in the community are always trained with the mindset that all they could do to be fulfilled in life is to be a good homekeeper, be humble and submissive to their husbands, and have tons of children for them. Ugo believed in all these things, but she knew that there was something better she could add to them, not just eating food and breeding children. As a child, Ugo would tell her mother how she would make lots of money, buy lots of land and build lots of houses and have plenty of children. Her mother would just reply, "May the gods grant your desires to fill your husband's house with tons of children. But as for making money and all those rubbish you just spewed, don't ever say it outside. Making money is not what the gods have designed you to do. They have designed you to be a fertile land that breeds strong sons and beautiful daughters." Ugo will frown at this and become very sad. It gives her so much pain that no one wants to hear her dreams, not even her own mother. She dare not say this in the presence of her father. As a young, adorable girl, so many men have come to ask for her hand in marriage, but Ugo keeps turning them down. She will yell at them, "Get out of my father's compound, you old man." She didn't understand why old men would keep coming for her, and not even a single young man. Her parents would scold her, but she wouldn't listen. She would say, "I, Ugo, want a man as young as the morning sun, with a warm smile and a well-built body, a man full of life and still in his prime." Ugo's parents got really scared because after a certain age, reasonable suitors would stop coming for a woman's hand in marriage, and she would grow old in her father's house. These thoughts, however, never bothered Ugo. Something tells her that her dream man would come. On her way to the stream one beautiful morning, she met a hunter named Ike, a well-built man, as fair as the moon, gentle and soft-spoken. Ugo couldn't take her eyes off Ike's chest. She said to herself, "That's him, my dream man." She greeted him with a very warm and beautiful smile. She was being intentional. Ike looked at this amazing creature and couldn't get his eyes off her. It seems their feeling was mutual. Ike said to her, "What do you have in common with the sun? Your presence brings so much light and joy." Ugo couldn't stop smiling. Her heart was beating 1,000 times under a single breath. Ike held her hand and immediately Ugo melted in his arms. It was as if they have known each other for ages. Ike followed her to the stream, fetched the water for her, and carried the pot for her till they got to her home. When Ugo's mother saw them, she was surprised and happy at the same time. That was the first time in Ugo's life that she ever brought a man home. Ike greeted her, and as he was about leaving, Ugo followed him to see him off. They talked at length and laughed, and that was the first beginning. The relationship sparked like fire, and Ike brought his people to come and marry Ugo officially. They performed all the marital rites, and Ike took her home as his wife. They made the most lovely marriage one could ever ask for. They do everything together: cooking, sweeping the compound, tending their livestock, going to the farm, and even fetching firewood. Ike's friends would mock him and call him woman rapper, but he didn't mind. He loved his wife with all his heart. Doing things with her gave him joy. Ike and Ugo lived together happily, but something was obstructing their full happiness. It's been 8 months of the marriage and still Ugo hasn't shown any sign of pregnancy. It bothered her parents and Ike's parents too. The couple decided to wait on the gods to bless them with a child, but the pressure from their parents was too much. They tried their best to turn deaf ears to the pressure, but to no avail. 1 year gone and still no pregnancy. Ugo goes to the shrine of Omomo, the goddess that blesses women with children, and prays to her. She offers sacrifices too, but it's as though Omomo cannot hear her. She wondered what it was she had done wrong. Other women start having children as soon as they step into their husband's house. So why is hers different? Ugo and her husband went to different native doctors that have given them different herbs, but all to no avail. The marriage gradually began to go sour. Ike's family was on his neck to get a second wife. It has been 3 years of childless marriage with Ugo. Ike was put in a very tight corner, for he promised Ugo that he would never marry a second wife, that she would be the only woman in his life. Ugo's mother and her sisters kept praying for her and consoling her, but none of them could really understand her pain, for they all had children in their own homes. It clocked 5 years since Ike and Ugo got married, and still not even a child to show for it. Ike's kinsmen called him and told him to take a wife, that no childless man will ever be found in their lineage. Ike couldn't help it anymore. He cried, for the thoughts of how Ugo would feel filled his heart. He was sorrowful. He came home and broke the news to Ugo. He said, "My wife, my kinsmen are on my neck in getting another wife. I'm going to do that, but I guarantee you that you will always be my first and priority." Ugo looked at him and couldn't say a word. She wept. She ran home and broke the news to her parents. They held their daughter and felt so bad for her. What a poor soul, they thought. Ike married another woman, a young woman named Ada. Ada came into the family, and just after her first month, she became pregnant. Ike was so happy. Finally, he was about to know how it feels to become a father. For the first time in his life, he's going to be a real man. He broke the news to his family and they were all excited. Ada found grounds to humiliate Ugo and shame her. When Ugo asks her why she has done something wrong, she would reply, "Can't you see that this pregnancy is taking a toll on me? Oh, how do I expect you to understand? You don't even know what it feels like, and you would never know." Ugo would cry her eyes out, but there is one thing about her. She doesn't let anyone see her tears. She hides in her heart and cries. Ike's attention began to move away from Ugo. At a point, it seemed like he has completely forgotten about her. He no longer spends the night with her. For what is the point exactly, he will say to himself. When Ugo goes to meet him, it will be as though Ugo is a bug, discomforting him. At that point, Ugo knew she had lost everything. Her home, her husband, her peace, and everything. She made a resolve in her heart to leave the marriage, but she knew it's not going to be easy, for her parents might not agree to pay back the bride price. They would want her to remain a married woman in her husband's house. She made plans and decided to do something else with her life. She thought of her dreams of becoming a very wealthy woman, and at that point, rays of hope glowed inside her heart. Ugo went to her father and begged that he lend her some lands for farming. Her father accepted and gave her some pieces of his land. Ugo began to farm in large scale like a man. She employed laborers on her farm and cultivated different crops, from vegetables to cassava to yam and potatoes, even rice. Her farm attracted eyes and people began to ask questions. No one has ever cultivated such amount in the history of the community. She planted in acres of immeasurable lands and paid her laborers. On her way to the farm one day, she met a priestess. The priestess called her Ugo Nwaanyi. The gods has blessed you and made the sun to shine all around you. You are a complete and strong woman. You are taking a walk into your fate. I am Agbala, the priestess of Omumu. I am like you, without a child, and the society wrote me off. They remembered me when I became a priestess and needed me to consult the gods on their behalf. With or without a child, they would give you the honor and respect you deserve, if only you embrace your fate and step into your future. I heard all your sorrows you poured out to Omumu, and Omumu heard them too. Let's be friends. Come around often. Let's pour each other drinks to womanhood and fruitfulness. Ugo didn't know when her basket fell from her hands. She ran into Agbala's arms and embraced her. And this was the second beginning. What do you think Ugo's relationship with Agbala will result to? Do you think she'll walk into her fate? Or do you think that life will continue to be lonely for her? Find out in the next episode of the story. I hope you had an amazing time listening to the story. Do not forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell to get notified when we upload another amazing tale. For we have lots of enchanting tales yet to be told.